Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Friday, August 10th. We have a 14-game slate tonight. We have a loaded pitching slate, at least like in the mid-range today. I think there are a lot of playable options. There's only 3 studs, and I'd say really only 2 of them I really want to even consider. Zack Wheeler at 10-1 probably won't be going there, just too expensive. But we do have Gerrit Cole and Tanaka as our studs. Like I said earlier, the mid-range really loaded today. Ivaldi against the Orioles you could go to. Zack Effluent against the Padres. Shane Bieber against the White Sox. Derek Holland even against Pittsburgh at 7,600 could possibly be a play. You got value, I think, like with Estrada against the Rays. You might could go there if you were looking to do that. Maybe even a guy like Austin Gomber, 6,300 against the Royals. A guy we'll talk about we could consider. Even like down cheap, there's a guy for the Pirates who's stone minimum. He's 4K, going to be pitching against the Giants. He could be a value option. So I think pitching today, there are definitely multiple ways you can go. I don't think there are any like clear, just standout plays. Maybe Eflin is probably the most clear option, or it might be one of the most highest owned options at 8,500 against the Padres. But really, other than him, I could see a lot of ways you could go at pitcher today. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about pitcher, the combinations. We'll go through the bats, talk about the stacks I like, go over some BVP plays as well. But before we do get started, guys, make sure you drop a like on the video. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do click that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, starting off with these 3 options over 10K, we got Gerrit Cole, who's 12,500, going up against the Mariners. I'm not going to play Gerrit Cole today. I don't have much interest in him. I'm just not sure if the upside's really there in this matchup. Right now, as I'm recording this video, Verlander's getting really shelled by the Mariners. I believe they put up like 3 runs in the first inning on him. Not saying the same thing's going to happen to Gerrit Cole, but I don't know if the upside's there for this matchup. And at 12-5, I think we can easily avoid him today. I think the guy that has a lot of upside is Tanaka. He's 10,400 and gets a matchup against the Rangers at home. I do like Tanaka here. Like I said, I think the upside's there. This is a Rangers team that does strike out a lot, and they do have a low implied run total for today. Tanaka, a very heavy favorite at -200, just a 3.7 implied run total for the Rangers. I really like Tanaka here. I think the upside's there. The risk, he might be a risky play. Don't know if I would go there in cash games, but for tournaments, I think 30, 35, possibly even 40-point upside. I could see it from Tanaka today. Like we saw him against the Rays, a complete game shutout with 9 strikeouts. Honestly, that's possible for Tanaka in this matchup. But even if he doesn't get that, 6-7 innings with 8-9 strikeouts, I think is very possible. Really like him here. Definitely one of my favorite pitchers on this slate. Would much rather play him over Zack Wheeler. I'm not very interested in Wheeler today. He's just too expensive against the Marlins. I don't know if the upside's really there. So at 10-1, not playing Wheeler, would much rather play Tanaka over Wheeler. But anyways, looking at the other pitchers, maybe like in this mid-range, I mentioned Nathan Ivaldi. I think Ivaldi, if you don't want to go to Tanaka and you think Tanaka might be too risky, Ivaldi for 700 cheaper is definitely a play that I like here. Versus the Orioles, Ivaldi got rocked July 13th against the Twins. And then after that start, he's been very good against the Rays, against the Twins again, against the Yankees. Pitched very well, 6, 7, and 8 innings in those 3 starts. Only allowed 1 run through those 3 starts, and it's been really good, especially with the Red Sox. I believe those 3 starts have all came with the Red Sox. So since he's got traded to the Red Sox, he's been very good. I think he keeps it up today. I could easily see Ivaldi putting up another really good outing. So if you want to play him at 9,700, I think he is a good option. It's a good matchup. We know the Orioles are not a good baseball team. They struggle just against righties. They're just not good in general. And they do strike out a lot as well. So I like Nathan Ivaldi at 9,700. I think he's in play. Mentioned Zack Effluent. I think Zack Effluent, one of the clear options on today's slate, especially with his price tag and with the matchup. Eflin is a guy that we've seen this year show a lot of upside. He definitely hasn't been performing as well as of late. I think some regressions kind of hit him because at the beginning of the year, Eflin was just dominating start after start, just mowing through teams. That hasn't been the case lately, but I think we do see Eflin pitch very well today. He's coming off a pretty good outing against the Marlins where he went 8 innings, allowed 3 runs, did give up 2 homers, but got 6 strikeouts, got the win, 25 DraftKings points. It's a great matchup for Eflin today. It's a great ballpark. It's a good strikeout matchup as well. I think he's one of the clear options at SP2 or even at SP1 if you want to go cheaper at pitcher. Love Zack Effluent today. I think he easily returns value on this price tag. So I like him to pair with Tanaka. That still leaves us pretty good salary if we do want to fit in some expensive bats today, which I think we are going to want to. But talking about some of the other pitchers, I mentioned Shane Bieber, $200 cheaper than Effluent. If you want to play him and Effluent together, I think that makes a ton of sense, especially in tournaments. Going with Bieber and Effluent, I like that a lot. Looking at the value at pitcher, Derek Holland against the Pirates at home, I think could definitely be an option if we want to go to him. Estrada as a cheaper play in tournaments, $7,100. I'm not a big fan of that price tag, but Estrada against the Rays, I think could be a cheap option you do consider. Austin Gomber has a good matchup against the Royals. He hasn't been that great lately, but he's cheap. He's got a good matchup. Austin Gomber, $6,300, I do like as a value play. And then another value play, I mentioned him. I think his name is Clay Holmes. He's going to be pitching for the Pirates today. At least he's listed as the probable starter. He's a stone minimum on DraftKings, just $4K. He's facing the Giants in AT&T Park, so it's a good spot for Clay Holmes. Not sure how deep he's going to go into the game, but if he is going to pitch 5-6 innings, if he's going to throw 80 to 90 pitches, at the stone minimum, I think he makes a ton of sense today as a cheap value play. This Giants team's just not a good lot. It's just not a good baseball team. Doesn't have a lot of good hitters in it. It's a great pitcher's park, which is going to favor Clay Holmes. And he has made it start this year against the Brewers. Went 6 innings, only allowed 4 hits, 2 walks, got 6 strikeouts, 25 DraftKings points. If Clay Holmes puts up a similar outing to that at 4K, he's going to be a great value play on the slate. So if you do want to pair him with a mid-range pitcher and just fit in all the bats, I think that can definitely be a winning strategy today. But yeah, guys, those are kind of the pitchers I'm looking to. So now we'll talk about some bats. We'll start off at first base, where I think a guy here is just a little bit too cheap today. Joey Votto at $4,100 in a matchup against Clay Buchholz in Great American Ballpark. I love Joey Votto today. I think he's a great play here. I think he has a great price tag on him. That's one of the reasons I really like him. $4,100 for Joey Votto hitting at home versus a pretty bad righty. I'll take the savings here. We normally see Votto above 5K. He's very cheap today. I know Votto's not an upside play. The dude just really doesn't have much power. But for cash games, I think Votto's a great option today. He's going to get you points. He'll take his walks. You can pretty much lock in Votto to get you at least 6 to 7 points. So for cash, that's a great floor. For tournaments, you could probably fade him unless you're stacking Cincinnati, which I honestly do like today. I think the Cincy stack makes a ton of sense versus Buchholz. But Joey Votto should be in the lineup today. I think he's a great play at first base for $4,100. And then the next guy that I like, going to the outfield, I definitely want to pay up here. Paying up for Giancarlo Stanton, $5,100 at home versus a lefty, Mike Minor. This is a pitcher that Giancarlo Stanton has had a ton of success in. We look at the BVP. I'm not much of a BVP guy. Don't take really much into it. But 7 for 21 with 4 home runs. Stanton has absolutely crushed Mike Minor. It's a great spot for Stanton. The dude mashes lefties. He's at home in a good hitter's park. And he's been on a hot streak as well, just hitting the ball so well. He homered Thursday night, homered Wednesday night, homered on Tuesday, so he's homered in 3 straight games. Honestly, I think he keeps the streak going. I think he homers for his 4th straight game. Love Giancarlo Stanton here. Definitely want to pay up for him on this slate, and I think I can do it pretty easily going with some cheaper options at pitcher. And if you were to consider Clay Holmes today, if you were to play Eflin and Holmes in a lineup, you could just load up on all the bats. You could play Stanton, just all the power righties from the Yankees. You could go to the Red Sox versus Bundy. You could play any Red Sox you wanted to. That's where I really like Clay Holmes at pitcher, just because that 4K price tag allows you to do so much. But yeah, in the outfield, love Stanton, $5,100 versus the lefty. And then my final play is a value play from the Reds. I mentioned the Reds. I like them as a stack today. Mason Williams, just $3,200. Should be batting right in the middle of that lineup for the Reds. He is projected to bat 5th on Fantasy Labs. At $3,200 versus a righty I don't believe in. I know Buchholz has been pretty decent this year, but I feel like this is a tough spot for him, having to go to Great American Ballpark to face this Reds team. That does have a lot of power bats in their lineup, a lot of guys that don't really strike out either. Buchholz isn't going to get strikeouts. He's a he's a pitcher that pitches to contact. Throws a lot of balls in the zone. In Great American Ballpark, I don't see that really working out well for him. Love the Reds here. They're cheap as well. Scooter Gennett's just $4,400. Suarez is $4,600. Votto, I mentioned that price. Peraza leading off at $3,800. You got value with Mason Williams. Barnhart, Tucker, Preston Tucker, that is. Just a lot of value in this lineup, a lot of upside here for the Reds, and I love them today versus Buchholz. So yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today. Masahiro Tanaka, Zack Effluent, Joey Votto, Giancarlo Stanton, and Mason Williams. Now we'll quickly go over some stacks that I like on this 14-game slate, and we'll talk about some BVP plays as well. So I would say my top stack, it's probably the Yankees. I love the Yankees here versus Mike Minor. I think Minor probably going to struggle. I want a lot of the righties, Hicks, Stanton, Torres, Andujar, even like Luke Voigt I think could be a play. Love the Yankees here with the 5-point floor, implied run total. Love the Reds as a sneaky stack. If I make a lot of tournament lineups, which I probably will be doing on this slate, I am definitely going to have a Red stack versus Buchholz. Then looking at some of these later games, maybe the Cardinals, 5 implied run total versus Burt Smith, you could go to, but the Cardinals just, it seems like they never really, when you stack the Cardinals, it seems like it never works out. But a guy like Matt Carpenter, as maybe a one-off at 5,800, this dude just rakes every night. Do like Matt Carpenter today. Coors Field, I'm not really interested in today. Kenta Maeda and John Gray are 2 pretty good pitchers. 2 pitchers I really don't want to pick on. 5.3 and 5.4 implied run total. Those aren't really totals that catch my eye. We usually see Coors totals near 6, even sometimes near 7. So with just a 10.5 total here, not sure if I really want to go to these teams. I don't think I'm going to be very heavy on Coors Field. But yeah, I think that's it for the stacks. Now we'll go over some BVP plays on this slate. Before we get out of here, we'll start off at the top. I'll try and just cover the ones with a decent sample size. If you do want to look at all the BVP plays, you can pause the video and scroll through them or just take a look at them. But starting off at the top, Andrew Benintendi gone 8 for 23 with a home run versus Dylan Bundy. Mookie Betts gone 7 for 29 with 3 home runs versus Dylan Bundy. Mentioned Stanton, his BVP versus Mike Minor, 7 for 21 with 4 home runs. Kevin Kiermaier, 8 for 23 with a home run versus Marco Estrada. Victor Martinez, 15 for 40 with 4 home runs versus Irvin Santana. Logan Morrison, 4 for 24, only has 4 hits and 24 ABs, but does have 3 home runs versus Jordan Zimmerman. Francisco Lindor, 7 for 24 with 2 home runs. And then lastly, Charlie Blackmon, 4 for 16 with a home run versus Kenta Maeda. But yeah, that's it for BVP. That's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy the video, just make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe down below. And if you have any questions, like always, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this 14-game slate. Peace.